Hello everyone, welcome back to Spyro the Dragon. We are going into the Terrace Village, the first actual level of the Beastmaker's world, I think, is what this is called. And look at all those eggs we got. We're really saving the future of dragondom. Anyway, one of the main themes of the levels of this world, as was previewed for us in the overworld, is that these Gnorks use electricity, and it is very annoying. And you can't hear it now because we're not in the overworld, and I think this uses a different song, but I forgot to mention in the last video the strange sound in the song for the Beastmaker's overworld. There's just like, at certain points, there's just these like, ooh, 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 sounds like they just are. I don't know what it's supposed to be or what it is that makes the sound, like, physically, but the first time that I was playing through this game, I was playing it kind of late at night, and Liv was in the other room. And, you know, sometimes when she's in the room doing her thing, and I'm in here doing mine, and sometimes when she needs me, I'll hear her, and she has her little baby voice, so I'll just, through my headphones, just hear, like, a meh, or whatever, and I'll know to, like, take my headphones off and listen more closely. Or just get up and go in the other room. And so I kept thinking that she was calling me, because of that sound. I kept thinking, because it sounds like it's happening off in the distance, like surround sound, so I was very confused, and I, like, went in the room, and she was just dead asleep, and I was like, what's going on? And it took me, like, 10 minutes to figure out that it's the game.
Watch out, Spyro. The Gnorks in these parts have discovered the power of electricity, and it really stings.
Thank you for telling me that after I've encountered about 15 of them between here and the overworld. It's very helpful information. Anyway, yeah, so starting on the new world, and this level isn't too bad. It's one of those levels where there's a lot of platforms on that, like, yeah, as you can see, there's lots of things on the tops of buildings around here, and you have to do a little bit of flying around and doing stuff to get to everything. And that was dog shit. A lot of the zapping deaths are pretty horse shit in this game, in this level. But yeah, there's not too much to say about it. It's just your sort of standard.
Good job.
I don't know if it's meant to be the first level. It's the first one that you physically encounter in the overworld, and I think it's probably the easiest. And I love how that guy is, like, doing a sexy pose. It's very cool of him. And I don't know what those things are supposed to be, but I always thought they were chickens, so if I refer to chickens in this game, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, not a whole bunch to say about it. Just, you know, get the enemies, get on top of the things. This isn't... I mean, obviously there is some non-linearity to this level, because there's these, like, hidden things, but not really to any degree much greater than we've seen so far in normal levels. The other levels in this world, however, are very big and spread out, especially the last one, which is Treetops. I think that's the last one. I'm not sure. I feel like there are 4 normal levels in this game, and then in this world, rather, and then 1 boss and 1 flying mission. But I think there might only be 3, which I think is the standard for all of them, but I don't know if it's, like, uniform across all of them or not. But whatever. I'm yawning. So, yeah, I'm just chilling. But yeah, this one is more straightforward, which is nice. Still involves a little bit of like backtracking and flying around to get everything though, and I do manage to get all the gems in this one, which is cool. And this jump here can be a little bit tricky. It's very, very precise. I probably could have saved it on that little hop there, but it's one of those flying parts where you have to be pretty, like, precisely at the top of your jump and only have so much time to, like, actually, like, make it there before you're too low. And, yeah, that was just stupidity on my part there. So, yeah, as for what's been going on with me, well, on Saturday, me and Liv accompanied Liv's mom to the beach. We went to Atlantic City, a beach that we've been to a few times. And, I wasn't super keen on doing that at first because of the things that are happening, and beaches in particular being like not a great place to be at in this time. We wore masks. I kept my mask on pretty much the whole time except when I went in the water for a little bit. And I mean, I didn't go near anybody, had no reason to go near anybody. But it was very disheartening that pretty much nobody was wearing a mask at the beach. And few people are doing it anyway, in general. Like, I would say, I've heard that Philly is actually, like, complying with the mask wearing on a better scale than most other major cities in the US. And yeah, you heard that second crash there, and here is me like checking to see if I missed something or if something else blew up. But I think that when you break those propeller things, those fans, that one of the metal pieces like falls and also shatters and makes it sound again, but it makes me think that something else is breaking somewhere else and I'm like missing a gem. Anyway, yeah, so if you fly over here, then you can get up on all these things and get all the goodies that you missed the first time around. And you can get all these chests, these like fortified chests with these fireworks, which is nice. It's always nice when things have a relatively simple solution. But yeah, but anyway, God punished me for going to the beach because I got very sunburned. Not like much of my body, I guess, got sunburned, but my like neck and top part of my chest and one of my arms and my shoulder are all pretty red, and it sucks. I mean, I'm the whitest person that's ever lived, so I'm very used to being sunburned, but in another sense, I'm not, because I haven't really been doing a lot of prolonged being outside lately, and by lately I mean both during the pandemic and, like, for the last few years of my life. I mean, I guess that's not entirely true, because, like, a year ago I was doing canvassing, so I was outside quite a bit, but I wasn't going to the beach, at least. I don't do a whole lot of going to the beach, because I don't have many reasons or time to, and also not all really much of a desire. Maybe it's just a product of the fact that, I live in like the mid-Atlantic, and so most of the beaches that I have access to are pretty shitty in terms of like the water quality and everything, and they're very crowded. Like, I'm sure I would love the beach if I went somewhere where like the water is relatively clear or whatever, or if it was in a setting other than just like the east coast of the US. I never ended up going to the beach when I visited California, so I can't really speak to the west coast. But yeah, I got all the gems, that's cool. And now we're just making the trek back to the end. But I've always felt that beaches were kind of overrated as a thing, as a place to be at. I liked going to the beach when I was a kid, but of the things we would do when we would go to the beach, meaning we would visit our family's beach house in Delaware and usually go to the beach for most of the day in the morning and earlier afternoon and then do other stuff. Of the things that we did at the beach, going to the actual beach was probably my least favorite as a kid, especially once I and my siblings stopped, like, making sand things and whatnot. I didn't really like going in the water. I was a bad swimmer as a kid, and I didn't like having to wash sand off me. I didn't like that it was hot, and I always got sunburned. My parents obviously would want to be there for like 25 hours because, you know, I mean, understandable, because they'd been at work and we got like one good vacation a year, and so they're like, I'm going to maximize the amount of time that I'm spending just like cooking in the sand and like just being asleep. Which, again, you know, fair enough. But it just wasn't my thing, and like, since I've gotten older, all those things have really held up, especially because the two things that there are to do on the beach are basically just sit there and go in the water. And going in the water can be fun, especially if you have someone with you. But, and I mean, I guess you could, you know, knock out a book while sitting in the sand. I always bring a book, either a physical copy or on my phone, on my Kindle app, to the beach, and I never really make a big dent in it. Just because there's not... I usually don't have a chair to myself, so I'm usually just sitting on a towel, and it's not very comfortable to hold a book or my phone up and read it for a prolonged amount of time to actually make any headway in the book. And then, I mean, it's relaxing to just lie on the ground, but I can't ever really fall asleep because I'm laying on hard sand and, you know, there's a trillion people all around me. So yeah. And then we're supposed to do another vacation, I think, next week. But that one won't be like around 1 million people. It'll at least just be Liv's family in a house on like a lake, I think. And so I've been around Liv's family's like most weeks since before this started. So I don't, and I mean, hasn't arisen a problem yet for any of us, so I feel like it's probably fine. But yeah, the main annoyance with that is just that I'll have to make a bunch of backup videos and like schedule the uploads, which is doable. It just means that I have to do effort. I only just noticed that these pigs have wings, which is funny. A lot of split paths in this one, or I mean, at least 2. This is me just kind of making sure that I'm not missing anything. This one's cool. I mean, I like these levels, it's just that I don't know how to find everything, so I don't know. I always leave them disappointed because I'm like, I Like, there's so many things, and usually you can see where all of them are, but you can't just, like, get to them. And I don't know, people who've played this game, like, does this game have any parts of these levels where you have to, like, finish the game first, and, like, get something or whatever, or, like, you unlock something down the road, and then you can access certain things? Because there are certain parts of these levels that, like, I really have no idea how you're meant to do them. Sometimes it seems like it would be, you know, you would do just like a supercharged fly over there, but I mean, I don't know if I'm just bad at them or what, but they don't always do that. Like, some of the supercharges, you'll see it mostly in the next part, in the next level, but, yeah, they don't typically, you know, there's usually only one place that the supercharges can get you, and they're the place that the supercharge ramp is pointed to. Here's Matt Damon.
Thanks for releasing me. It seems like I've been trapped in here since I was your age.
No, no.
Why, I remember...
Gotta go.
I really like how many of these dragon saving encounters are Spyro telling all the old head dragons to shut the fuck up. And here is a place that really makes me angry, because this looks like you should be able to just, like, get up over there and there's more stuff. If you can, I didn't want to try it and slip and fall into the sludge, and I can't really see any discernible pathway, but this is a PS1 game. You can only make out so much from far away, so I'm just ignoring it for now. If there's something up there that I should be getting, then you can tell me, I guess, and maybe I'll go back and do it. But time to go in this hole that I ignored a moment ago. And there are some shiny boys in here. And some terrifying, pointy-toothed trees. And I still don't understand. I guess you have to touch the gem when it's in the air, but sometimes I feel like I jump just under it and it collects it, but other times not. There's some things in this game that feel kind of inconsistent, and this Zeke guy, he's a chonker. That guy was big. Damn. And this is a whole, fucking, like, giant section in and of itself. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but... yeah. Just get headbutted by a piggy. That's not very fun. But yeah, masks. You should wear a mask. If you're a person and you're, like, going outside, you should do that. It's very stupid and sad that people aren't doing it very much. And just in general, you know, I feel like this has been the case for everybody, and it's probably only feeling more acute right now because I'm just in the house left with these, you know, fluctuations and feelings. I'm sure that you know, my temperament toward the world changes about as often as it has been in the last, whatever, 4 months. But I've just been going back and forth through phases of being, like, fine. Like, I haven't really, like, been great or anything, but I don't think a lot of people have. I've been going back and forth between being, like, fine and, like, you know, contented, at least in my own little life. And being, like, very sad and, like, depressed and feeling shitty about things in general. I mean, if there already was a palpable sense of, like, uncertainty and the lack of a future before all of this happened, just by virtue of the way that we do things in the world and, you know, where I am at in life. And that's all just been exacerbated. I have no idea what is to come of any of this, other than the only things that I can assume are all of the worst things. That was stupid. A few months ago, I don't know if I said it in a video or whatever, but I was worrying that, you know, after, like, everybody seemed to give a good faith effort for about 2 months, and then after that, we all pretended that those 2 months did anything, and started going back to normal, some semblance of it. And wouldn't you know it, everything is going to shit again on an even larger scale. And I don't know if they're gonna do a second lockdown, at least not like a nationwide one with like a mask mandate, even though that would absolutely help things. And even the people who are like ghoulish and only make decisions based on how they'll affect the economy, even that doesn't make any fucking sense, because like in the long term, just paying people to stay home and paying businesses to stay shut down until there's a vaccine is the best option. There's really no economic gain to be made from reopening right now, just based on the number of people who are out of work, soon to be out of a home, just generally unable to really conspicuously spend at the moment. And like Sweden, I know they've reopened or like stayed open and never did a lockdown, and their economy got just as eviscerated as all the other places that did do a lockdown. So there's really nothing to be gained from not doing it, but of course that's why we're going to do it. Because, I mean, I guess it's not true that nothing will be gained, because there will be fleeting, meaningless short-term gains in, like, you know, the portfolios of all the vampires that run things, and that is the only metric by which we can assess our success or failure as a people. So that's what we'll do. And I don't know, and we'll just normalize the deaths, which is something that I was worried would happen after that, you know, period of reopening, where it's like, you know, neither party, no, like, element of government or anything is really interested in or poised to or equipped to actually make any of the substantive changes that would help things. So we're just going to normalize people dying all the time from it, and everyone goes back to work and pretends it's normal, and it's going to be awesome. On that amazing, fun note, next time, hopefully we'll talk about something a little bit happier and do the rest of this world. See you then for that.